Today, I want to talk about knowing yourself and why it's important to know yourself. And maybe one day soon I'll be comfortable enough to show you my journaling. But I've been asking myself, why should I know myself? What's so important about knowing myself? And I came to the conclusion that we make decisions based on our beliefs, on who we believe we are. Bienvenidos and welcome, fellow travelers. I am Leonardo Torres, and I'd like to welcome you to the channel. I hope that your journey here on Earth hasn't given you too much trouble, and if it has, it's okay. We'll get through it together. Some of you know me from my other channel, and if this is your first time meeting me, I'd like to welcome you and let you know that to me, you are family. And as a member of my family, I'd like to extend an invitation to join me on my journey. I want to be completely honest and open with you. The last 2 years have been just absolute garbage. I've been through the ringer, to say the least. I went through a lot of changes, some of which I actually intended to make, and others I was forced into making. I started a YouTube channel that gained a lot of traction, and for months I stressed about what kind of content I wanted to make and who I wanted to be, to the point where I feel like I lost myself. The last 2 or 3 months have been particularly challenging because I had to take a step back from the channel to reassess who I was. And thanks to some people that I've met through the channel, we were given the opportunity to travel to Washington, D.C. for a special screening of a show called The Chosen. We are here in D.C. Finally made it. How was the flight?
It was nerve-wracking, but it was good.
We're excited to be here.
It's so cold.
And it's pretty cold and we're still inside. So not excited about that.
Yes, we're Californians and we don't deal with cold very well.
Erika and I took advantage of the time that we were there to explore Washington, D.C. and I was like a kid all over again. Autumn is my favorite season of all, and the colors were just so beautiful. I saw yellow greens that I've never seen in any tree here in California, and I had a blast. I took my Ricoh GR3 camera and I took a couple of photos, and little by little, all of these coats that I put on in the last 2 years started to come off. I started to feel more in sync with my old self, taking photographs, watching the lighting hit these buildings, seeing the beautiful design in the architecture and the patience that it must have taken to build these beautiful structures. Being behind the camera again and composing a shot just reminded me of a time in my life that I was at peace. I had peace in my life. Things weren't as complicated, and I'm here on this channel now to go back to that. I don't know if you could see it on my face, but I just look tired all the time and I feel heavy and weighted down. So I want to go back. I want to go back home. You know what I mean? Go back home. I just want this weight on my shoulders to go away, and I want to sleep again, and I want to feel good about myself, and I want to feel lighter, and I want to smile and feel happy and have peace in my heart again. And it was then in Washington, D.C. behind the camera that I decided that I needed to go back. I needed to go back home. Not California home, but home. So on our way back from Washington, D.C., I was looking through the movies that they have available on the plane, and I found a documentary on my hero, the late Bruce Lee, who I admired as a kid, not just because of his awesome moves, right? But because of his philosophy.
I said, empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
He was a man that believed in himself. He was a man that was fluid, flexible, and loved people and loved what he did. He loved martial arts. And while watching this documentary, he said something that stood out to me that I had lost a really long time ago. He talked about the importance of self-expression. He said martial arts was not about defending yourself or having some kind of fancy moves. It was about expressing yourself. And it made me realize that in order for me to be able to express myself, I first need to go back and rediscover who it is that I am. I need to know myself. So check this out. Now that I'm back, I started journaling again. I started my morning gratitude. I started meditating. I started reading and drinking more water. And already in 7 days, I feel a lot better. The editing on my other channels has gotten so much better. I'm waking up earlier now, and I'm just enjoying the space that I'm creating for myself all over again. But today I want to talk about knowing yourself and why it's important to know yourself. And maybe one day soon I'll be comfortable enough to show you my journaling, but I've been asking myself, why should I know myself? What's so important about knowing myself? And I came to the conclusion that we make decisions based on our beliefs, on who we believe we are. If I believe myself to be an unhealthy person, then I'm going to make unhealthy decisions. If I believe myself to be a kind person, I'm going to make decisions that support who I believe that I am. So if my main goal is to find peace and freedom, then I need to first get rid of everything that is disturbing my peace and keeping me from freedom, which means I have to get rid of my negative thinking. I have to get rid of my inner complaining. I have to get rid of my negative ideas and beliefs about myself and the world. And the last one, which is going to be the hardest for me, is I have to get rid of my bad habits. And starting now, I got to change the way that I feel about my bad habits. I got to replace them with good habits. And to get myself started on the right path, I started reading a book called Atomic Habits. I'm only a chapter in and I already love what I'm reading. James Clear, the author, he explains it brilliantly. He says that if two people are offered a cigarette and one says, "No thanks, I'm trying to quit," and the other says, "No thanks, I don't smoke," the outcome is the same. They're both rejecting a cigarette. However, one is saying, "I am a smoker, but I'm doing the best that I can not to be," while the other one says, "I'm not a smoker." And that's where I want to be. So I started a list of who it is that I want to be. And I'm going to share some with you. I am a man who doesn't take no for an answer. I'm a man who speaks authentically, cares and loves people, values freedom, love, peace, and truth, uses time wisely, practices patience, comes through on his word, gives people perspective in life, practices detachment, drinks water, is a student of life, knows people and understands people, dives deeply within himself for all of the answers, knows himself, is focused on the big picture, walks with the Great Spirit, heals damaged or broken hearts. Now that's just a small list to let you all know what I'm aiming for. I want to set goals that will leave the world better when I'm gone. I want the world to be a better place because I existed. And it's not about me, it's not about ego. But I want my time here to count for something. I want it to be worth something, not just for me, but for you all. So in the next few weeks, months, hopefully years, I'm going to be sharing my journey here with you all, sharing the things that I come across along my journey in hopes that it helps you out. I want to have open conversations about the things that are troubling me. Hopefully it can help you. I strongly believe that we are here to help one another, to love one another, to express ourselves authentically, to step into who we really are at the core, to step into truth, and then allow that truth to express itself through us. If you're with me on that, please do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and join me on this journey. And if there's anything at all that I could do to help you along your journey, let me know in the comments section. Thank you so much for watching. May the love and peace of the Great Spirit walk with you on your journey, and I'll see you next time. Peace.